Hello everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp and to an episode, not the episode because it's a bit different, isn't it, this time around, where we're going to highlight some of the best new releases on Switch 1 and 2 for essentially the first half of July.
Yeah, this is a series that we've traditionally done every week, but whilst the Switch 2 is still getting off the ground and obviously the Switch 1 releases are drying up, we're going to move it to half a month for now and see how it goes, and I'm sure in the end it will become weekly again.
Now, if you want to save yourself some money on the eShop, you can go over to switchup.gg and get 5% in cash back on any of your purchases over there. And also we've got PlayAsia and links to bits and bobs down there, haven't we?
We have indeed. So which games are coming out for, well, either Switch over the next few weeks? Well, let's find out.
All right, let's kick off then with Ruffy and the Riverside, which is out right now, and it's available on Nintendo Switch 1 and is completely compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. In fact, we revisited this, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We put it into one of our series where we look at games that run at 60 on the Switch 2, and this is certainly one of those, but it runs perfectly well on the Switch 1 as well.
Yeah, it does. It's got a couple of stutters and bits, but really it's the gameplay, which is really interesting. You almost like clone things and then use them elsewhere. So right at the start of the game, you like clone these vines and then you put them onto the waterfall to turn it into a place for you to climb up.
Oh, nice.
Kind of sets the scene for the rest of the experience. That one is £14.71. Bit of an odd price, that, isn't it?
It's very specific, isn't it? Also out now, and again for the Switch 1, is LocoMoto, which describes itself as a cozy life sim adventure train game.
We haven't got enough of those.
No, I mean, why not? Let's have another one. It says you are the conductor and you'll need to customize, manage and expand your train as well as tend to your colourful furry passengers. Again, very specific of exactly what passengers you're going to have on this train.
Yeah, so you're decking out the interior of a train that's filled with anthropomorphic creatures. Interesting, very interesting.
I'm sure it's actually quite an interesting game. I mean, I do like any sort of management simulation, you know, chucking in the train setting makes it slightly different. And as we said, this one is already out if you are interested in it at all.
We've actually got a code for that as well, so maybe we can show you it in one of these visits of Switch 1 games on Switch 2.
Yeah, for sure. This one will cost you £24.99 or your regional equivalent.
Next up, we've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. This is the first Switch 2 release of the month. It's also available on Switch 1, but by all accounts, the Switch 2 has some performance issues. Now, we will, as always, bring you a review, whether it's a full review or a performance. But if the Switch 2, has issues, then you can imagine the Switch 1's going to be interesting.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It may well be that by the time this video releases, our review for that game is already out. So if it is, there'll be a card to it in the top right-hand corner. Are these games that have been out previously? They are, aren't they? 3 and 4.
Yeah, I believe they've built them in the same engine that they did the remasters of 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
But it does that thing where you can pay a bunch of money and get it 3 days early.
Yeah. This is a practice that we see quite a lot. I've seen it certainly since doing this series, where you get the ultra deluxe edition, digital edition, that you, as you say, you get a couple of little extra bits and you pay another 10, 20 quid, whatever it is, and then get it a couple of days early. Yeah, not for me, that practice, I must say.
Literally the only reason we do it is to cover it, isn't it, for the channel, so people can then maybe not buy it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
If you'd have told us that when we were kids, like, it's like, Chris, there's a game coming out on Christmas Day, Timmy, but if you can get it 3 days early, you know, you're going to pay way more. We'd have been like, what? Yeah. People would have been absolutely outraged, wouldn't they?
It's funny because I was watching something earlier. We're going to go off on a tangent now. It's tangent time.
Tangent time.
But I was watching something about Resident Evil 0 and how it was initially going to be an N64 game.
Oh, wow.
And not a GameCube game. The point I'm making is that Capcom did everything they could to fit this on a cartridge, like the biggest cartridge they could find. They went and found it,
yeah.
You know, and they did the same for the 2 game that was on the N64. Ultimately, it was scrapped anyway. But these days, with all the game key carts and stuff, the difference in mindset with these companies is crazy, isn't it? You know,
it's the polar opposite, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
How much money can we make versus how can we help the consumer as much as possible?
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that one is retailing at £40, $39.99 for the standard edition. The digital deluxe edition is £60, which is outrageous. There we go. And there's no price stated for the Switch 2 version at the time of recording.
Next up, we've got one that I'm so excited about. It is System Shock 2, the 25th anniversary edition, which I don't know what to say about that. Literally, I've just done that thing that we laugh about. It's crazy. I can't believe it's the 25th anniversary of this game. I remember sitting down, again, building a computer for it and being like, wow, this looks like a photo. But the classics, Night Dive Studios, are bringing back another game using their Kex engine. It's looking great. We will have a full video or review in some form coming out, because it's one that I've just got to cover, really. It's got to happen. That one's out on July the 10th, and there's currently no price on the eShop, so, well, who knows what it's going to be.
Okay, next then we've got a game called Scholar's Mate, which is or looks to be a walk-in simulator horror experience. You know the drill, we get a fair few of these days.
The name's not great, is it? Scholar's Mate.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't scream horror to me, I must say. It's just a really crappy job. It's just horrific getting up every morning. What you do for a living, I'm a scholar's mate. It's awful, mate. Honestly, don't do it. I have nightmares about it.
Medieval horror. Jandu Soft, though, they've done quite a few games on Switch, I believe. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks all right.
No, it says it's a first-person horror escape room. So yeah, maybe not quite walking simulator. Explore and solve the hidden secrets of the hospital to escape. You're relentlessly pursued by Eddie Murphy, getting in on the action.
Just cracking unfunny jokes. Like, oh, go away, Eddie.
In that purple suit he wore in, was it Raw? Just chasing you down the corridors.
Is it you? Oh.
It promises an original soundtrack and immersive sound effects. Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Imagine that.
But there we go. £10 for that one, or again, your original equivalent, of course. That one is out for Switch 1, we should have said, on the 10th of July.
After Scholar's Mate, we have one from one of our favourite developers, actually, Nicalis, developers, publishers. It's called Cats Away, and it is essentially Sid Meier's Pirates, but with cats.
Okay, all right.
And it looks cool. I reckon it does. This one's a Switch 1 release that is fully compatible with Switch 2, or supported, I should say. It features a 30-hour-long story, which is quite surprising, I've got to be honest. You have to choose your captain, you can unlock various different ships, there are 30 units that you can recruit. It really does, it sounds like Sid Meier's, maybe a bit more heavy on the action, because there's like 150 different weapons that you can unlock, but on Switch featuring cats, which would be good because it's Nicalis. It's the only reason it's in this list.
As an aside, just while you were talking, I was listening, of course, but I was also thinking that I think he wore the orange suit in Raw. And he wore the purple one in Delirious.
Did he tell jokes?
Well, yeah, it was a stand-up comedy, so you'd bloody hope so, wouldn't you? Just stood there for an hour. But yeah,
just changing suits.
Exactly, yeah.
Stay there. Comes back.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with
nothing to do with it.
Pirates or
this one is £26.99 and it comes out on the 10th.
Okay, then we have Islanders New Shores. So Islanders is on the Switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's already an Islanders
Good game.
Yeah, on the Switch. So New Shores is obviously the newest game in that series.
It describes itself as like a minimalist city building adventure, but it does have a demo as well. I would suggest trying this because I think the first one is a hidden gem. I'm hoping that they've improved it for this one, you know, and for about, it's like £7 when it launches, $7.99 RRP. It's well worth it. I'm thinking, go check out the demo yourself. They're also doing a pack with the original game. You know, they love their bundles, don't they? Look at that. There's like 3 different bundles, but the actual game itself as well fits into 400 megs. Not too shabby at all. Then Bandai Namco are bringing across Patapon 1 and 2. You've heard of these, right?
I've heard of them, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're like rhythm games, aren't they? And you said you played them on the PSP, which sounds about right. I'm pretty sure they were on the PSP. I've not played them, I don't think. But it's a well-known series, I certainly know that, and quite a well-liked one as well.
Yeah, I'm sure I played it on PSP. It was this and LocoMoto? LocoMoto?
Yeah, that was another one. There were a lot of games that were very well-known on Sony's handhelds, and this was, I'm sure this is one of them, a series that's very well-liked.
Now, this is a complete red herring. I do like to rip it out of the Switch 2 screen. That actually looks quite nice and vibrant, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's got that silhouetted art style, isn't it, with the little characters, and you've got the colour colourful backgrounds, and it does look very nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously on an OLED it would pop even more, but I think the size of the Switch 2 screen does it justice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks good. Whether or not it will be worth its price, well, we'll find out. That one launches for £24.99 on the 11th. Then there's one that we stuck in the list because I knew you'd be looking forward to this one. It's Bendy and the Dark Revival, which also comes out on July the 11th and is a sequel to the other Bendy game that came out a long time ago now.
Yeah, Bendy and the Ink Machine was the first one, which I played on the Switch as it goes, and really enjoyed. It's a first-person survival horror game. It does have some combat in it. It's not just a walking simulator where you play as an artist that's had to go back to the factory that he worked in, and his drawings, his characters have kind of come to life. Very good game. I really enjoyed it, actually. I'd be interested to see what this sequel brings.
So this one brings, wait for it,
Yep.
Audrey.
Audrey, okay, yeah.
You play as Audrey as she explores the depths of a curiously creepy animation studio that's gone completely mad. It sounds like there's like a head demon or something in charge of the whole thing that's trying to hunt you down.
Yeah, the first game had like the old 1920s art style, kind of sepia toned, rubber hosing limbs for the creatures. Just judging by the screenshots here, this one looks to be going in a potentially different direction. Some of the creatures look much less animated and more like realistic, don't they?
It's got a Bioshock vibe, hasn't it?
It has actually, yeah, now you say it, yeah.
Really is giving me Rapture vibes. That one is a Switch 1 release, but compatible with Switch 2 and a reasonable price, 22 quid.
Yeah, not bad at all, £22.99, or your regional equivalent, and that's out, I think you said, didn't you, on the 11th.
The last one for this half of the month is Neverwinter Nights 2.
Yeah.
We actually have a load of codes to give away for this one, like a load. They initially gave us a bunch of US codes, and then yesterday I was like, oh look, I could really use some, could use some EU runs really, because we got a lot of EU, UK audience, and they've just gone, there you go. And this was a great Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't actually know it was affiliated with Dungeons and Dragons till seeing the thumbnail the other day and you being like, oh yeah, I'm sure it was originally.
Yeah, I don't know how much they promoted the Dungeons and Dragons part of it in Neverwinter Nights. They may well have done, I can't remember, but they certainly have this time. It's had a bit of a renaissance, hasn't it, Dungeons and Dragons these days?
It is. It's an Aspire one that they've been bringing back a lot of my favourites really from back in the day. If you've played Baldur's Gate, you've not played Neverwinter Nights, you kind of owe it to yourself to try this series. This is the sequel, and it does include, I think it's 3 big DLCs that usually had a bunch of different storylines as well. Now I have to say, I didn't get to experience this back in the day. I played the first one, used to make levels for it actually. I was a right nerd. I made levels for people online and then they'd play my campaigns, you know?
Yeah.
But this one, for whatever reason, passed me by. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's huge though. Like 100, 150 hours at least. And it uses those, of course it's Dungeons and Dragons. And my brain's just gone, what are you talking about? Because all of these games, Baldur's Gate, the sequel, Neverwinter Nights, there's another one that I've completely forgotten the name. They use the D&D rules.
Yeah.
Which is the Dungeons and Dragons rule set.
As you just said, you made your own campaigns. You were the dungeon master.
I was the dungeon master. But this one used the 3.5 rule set, which I don't think I have used before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It all makes sense now. I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about?
I think it was, I might be wrong, I don't know, but I just have a feeling that outside of fans of Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know if they promoted it heavily as that. Do you know what I mean? So you could play it and not really ever know you were playing a D&D affiliated product, you know? Yeah,
they've completely redone the controls by all accounts. I think it's a shame that we haven't got a Switch 2 version because that essentially means no mouse controls.
Yeah.
And it would be perfect with that. So hopefully Nintendo can sort their act out and get the dev kits out and they can start to actually implement these things. But that one has a 10% pre-order discount that takes it down to £22.96 with an RRP of £25.52. It launches on the 15th. The middle of the month, Glenn.
There we go. Nice time to finish then. So that's about half a month's worth of Switch/Switch 2 releases. As we said, this series may return to a more traditional format as time goes on, but at the minute it's too
sporadic, isn't it?
Yeah, sporadic in terms of releases. The Switch 1 is obviously winding down to a small degree, albeit a lot of these are Switch 1 games, of course, and the Switch 2 is still finding its feet. So yeah, there are 10 games across both consoles for now. Don't forget, if you're looking for eShop credit to pick any of these up, as Mark said at the beginning, you can use our website switchup.gg to get your eShop cards and get yourself 5% of your purchase price back as cashback. And there are links down there to places such as Play Asia. If you're looking to save any money there, use our link and code. Thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.